Jolan True Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates PostBattle. I am Admiral Tarek of the battleship RAS Fetus, as we continue our campaign against the United Federation of Planets. And your eyes are not deceiving you. That is indeed the same Fetus that we had in the last episode. You see, the fun little thing that ended up happening when we went back to try and recover the autosave from the crash in the last episode, it had managed to save exactly when we had pulled into dock. And not only that, when we went to the shipyard screen to buy our first King Condor, it came out as the RAS Fetus. So, yeah, basically we're picking up exactly where we left off when the crash occurred. Everything is precisely how we wanted it. So let's set off and try and kick some major butt, because this vessel needs a little bit of a christening in the blood of our enemies. So let's figure out a good location to jump in on. Unfortunately, we are being forced into an asteroid base assault, which is not fun. We would prefer to go on a nice big flashy patrol against dreadnoughts and the like. Well, maybe the game's going to punish me for saying that. No, I don't think. Oh, it's just a light cruiser. Yeah, we're squaring off against the light cruiser. We are escorted by a DWX, Sherman's troopers, and the Striker, who is also a pirate vessel. So apparently, High Command didn't think this warranted too much influence, only enough to basically annoy a brand new dreadnought captain. Thank you for that, High Command. So as you can see, we have X-type phasers, which means we now can set our phaser capacitor down to 50%, as X-type phasers double charge just in case you overload them, which we probably will. And let's also go through, make sure that we set up our hard points properly here. We do have quite a bit of weaponry to make use of in this brand new vessel, and that is indeed 16 phaser X's and 6 phaser 3s. In addition to that armament, we are also packing no less than 3 plasma torpedoes, 2 plasma Fs, and 2 Rs. Unfortunately, one of these plasma torpedoes, this one right here, fires backwards. So a little bit annoying, but we shall deal. We'll also want our light plasma torpedoes to be on hardpoint number 3, and then we'll set the heavy plasma torpedoes, the ones that have alternative firing modes, on number 4. And so 1 is as always phasers, 2 is as always all the plasma, 3 is the light plasma, and 4 is the heavy plasma. And we are fully kitted out and ready to rock. Unfortunately, the battle is going on well far away from us, and frankly, I don't think we really need to get involved in it. They've probably got the whole thing sorted. So let's increase the speed of time and just zip on here. After all, it is a simple light cruiser, although a decently well-armed one, I guess. Yeah, it is. It even has a MIRV rack, so let's actually get involved in that. So it is equipped with 6 missile launchers, one of which being a MIRV launcher, allowing it to put 11 missiles in the air at one time. The MIRV, of course, being an exceptionally useful and powerful weapon if in the hands of an intelligent person, and also if the game actually gave them decent missiles to fire from that. So let's fire our pseudo torpedoes to bait out any sort of defenses that he may bring to the table. And if he doesn't defend against this, we're basically just going to run him over with a heavy plasma torpedo. And he does not appear to be defending himself. In fact, I would go so far as to guess he can't defend himself. So let's send a lot of plasma his way and see how he responds to the real deal. I don't anticipate any proper response. He's picking up some speed, but that's a lot of incoming fire. Yeah, he done. Completely done for. We're going to come over here, set our plasma torpedoes to enveloping, our phasers to overload, because this is some serious siege work. And now let's increase the speed of time as we have to zip on over there to, well, destroy this base. We are not deploying our pseudo-frigates because I worry about pseudo-frigates getting blown up by the gigantic phaser 4s on the starbase, which we would like to avoid as those frigates are expensive. Not quite as expensive as our ship, that being 13,280. No, it was 12,280. We had 13,000 when we got it. And each one of our little pseudo-frigates is only 248. But for 248, you get 4 plasma torpedoes, which is not bad at all. I think we can probably increase speed. How's our power consumption going? Yeah, we have 32 points of power in the shield right now. We don't need that. Let's just pick up the pace, get right on top of him, and we'll basically annihilate him in one go. Probably... Now, I want to just fly right on top of him, but that would be stupid, because he would probably destroy us, and that would be bad. So as we zip on in here, we will select, of course, our plasma torpedoes. Because he's an asteroid base, he does not have, as you can see, any sort of defense about what we are about to shoot at him. And we will now slow down, make sure that we have enough power. So yeah, he has no shuttle bay and therefore no wild weasels. So all the plasma in the universe. Unfortunately, we fired early the plasma Fs. They're not going to hit. Everything else will, though, and we'll be hitting at double damage. So get right on top of it, slamming all that damage into him. for 161. Not bad. Not tremendous, but not bad. We do have a stern-firing plasma S torpedo, which we will have to zip around in order to actually hit, and prepare to fire all weapons. Engage. And now start to turn so we can get our last S-type plasma torpedo into the fray. That'll deal 60 damage if I'm remembering these damage tables right. And all the phasers, and come on. There we go. Bunched ourselves in the face just a little bit on that. And select our normal plasma torpedoes, set them back to normal mode, and slowly drift on back. Let's see what our high energy turn chance is. It's 66%. Ah, the days when we had 100, but no, not any longer. We have upgraded to the biggest, largest thing in the fleet, and it is, well, a bit portly. That's not an insult to the ship, but it is a bit fat. So let's see how much prestige that was worth. It was a well-escorted mission, and only against light cruisers, so I don't anticipate too much. 122, yeah, I kind of figured something like that. And let's poke on in here and start seeing if we can actually siege something. 2 patrols. I don't know which one's the bad patrol, so we'll just go on this one and cross our fingers. Little spoiler alert, this is actually the second time that we're trying to record this episode. The last time we got about 15 minutes into the episode, and then it crashed. So we are muscling our way through certain technical difficulties, which can be a bit annoying, but we shall prevail. After all, this has been the best season so far, so I'm not about to lose that simply because the missions are getting a little bit buggy. I shall simply do a little bit more work for a game that I love so dearly, and for you all who I love so dearly who have helped me out in this campaign. We probably should set our plasma torpedoes to enveloping mode. I'll just wait for the phasers to get up to full charge so we have the additional power in order to do that. And we're fighting an NCF. Actually, do we even need to? It is a heavy cruiser. Huh. Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead. We'll go enveloping. All plasma to enveloping mode. And now we have about 30 points of energy. Oh, the fact that we now have so much phaser power. Before, it was like, you have 5 phasers you can fire in this arc. Now, we have 16 phasers in total. Now, I think those phasers are broken up between 8 and 8. Not 100%. Let's check on that. We've got... These 6 phasers can all fire forward. So we have 10 phasers that can fire forward, and then an additional 4 that can fire backwards. 2, 4. So where are the... Oh no, there's 8. There's 4 each in these mounts. Oh yeah, so we have 12 phasers that fire forwards, and 4 that fire backwards. I think that's a pretty decent split. I think there are some Federation ships that can do full forward, and then they have Gatling phasers on the flanks. We only have phaser 3s on the flanks, so unfortunately not quite as powerful, although more than enough for what we're trying to do. And yes, we are trundling in at fairly low speed. I don't feel any reason to rush on into this battle against a Federation ship, although it is a new fast cruiser, so yeah, a little bit outgunned here. He is, not us, although, well, you never know. He could be the most genius captain you've ever seen. No, he fired his phasers from a range of 33. Not getting the genius vibe. Here comes the photon torpedo. Just a single one. He did manage to hit. Unfortunately, we're packing 31.5 points of forward shield defense. So he ain't busting that anytime soon. Although, let's see how he responds to this. And the reason why we're firing every single pseudo-torpedo we have on board is because there's exactly one ship, and there's no point in not. So will you respond to this? Nope. He did not have nerves of steel. He dumped his wild weasel, although, can you really blame him? Honestly, I can't. You see that much plasma incoming, what's your response going to be? Fight it out and try and duel him? Of course not. It's going to be to run. So let's see if he manages to stay within our forward arc by the time he accelerates to a speed of 4 to shut down his wild weasel's effect. All plasma torpedo is selected. He is 1 point away from being able to be shot at. Fire. And this was the real one. Sorry for tricking you. I find it funny that because of our plasma torpedoes, it actually takes us... it actually takes the plasma torpedoes more time from the stern of the ship than the front of the ship to actually get to the target. And so it actually split up the damage, 154 and then 23 from the other ones. Let's increase speed and steadily turn. The MacArthur, I don't imagine, is much longer for this universe. So, port side plasma torpedo, our single S-type that fires from the rear. Oh, did he get it? No, we got it, because these phasers activated. Target destroyed. There were no survivors. Excellent work, everybody. Let's see how much prestige that was worth. Again, don't anticipate very much, because We're a battleship, and he's not. 136, and we're going to pop up here. If we can take this planet, this will make this a little less annoying. And we'll go for the planetary assault, because planetary assaults are a lot of fun, and we have a gigantic dreadnought we would like to test out. Also, planetary assaults tend to pay out quite decently. About 350 to 400. We are squaring off against a dreadnought. Not just any dreadnought, but a battleship. Are you a proper battleship compatriot to ours? You are a BBX, so you are not quite the full-on battleship I would have expected. So all weapons select. We're going to set to enveloping plasma torpedoes, phasers to overload. We've got to hit them basically with everything and the kitchen sink. Let's get that forward shield also to the reinforcement level of something decent. Check out the planet. It is a PL4 system. And as soon as the phaser capacitor is fully charged, indicating 1 turn has passed in game time, we shall fire a probe and find out exactly what we're fighting in terms of planet-wise. Although PL4, it's not PLPH or PHPL. I think it's PLPH. So I don't anticipate any actual weapons on board this planet. We will, however, bombard it with everything that we possibly have. So the probe has gone by and hasn't really seemed to see anything else, so it's just him and the planet. And as you can see, he is quite well armed. No less than 9 missile launchers, 8 forward-firing photon torpedoes, and 2 rear-firing photon torpedoes, and a whole host of phasers. And as you can see, the planet is protected only by a couple of defensive phaser 3s designed for shooting down asteroids. Not really meant to fight, battleships. Let's pick up the pace just a little bit. Our forward plasma torpedoes are a turn and a half away from being ready to rock and roll. Power menu says that I'm currently putting 30 points of energy into my forward shield. Let's increase the speed of our ship and bring that level down just a bit. I really do want to be able to, hit them like a ton of bricks. You should have, I believe, 2 fighter squadrons, but they're like 2 fighters. So it's not exactly something we need to be all that concerned about. Pseudoplasma torpedo barrage will initially cause him to dump a wild weasel. We'll follow that up immediately with our full primary weapons fire. And then after that, phasers to beat the crap out of him. We'll deploy pseudo frigates as soon as he dumps the wild weasel. That way they don't waste their plasma torpedoes on his wild weasel. And the thing will go exactly as one would imagine. How we sort of perfected this strategy in our older Condor. And I do see him launch his fighters. He is going to hit with most of those. Although I do believe our forward shield's held. Get ready with the pseudo fire. And I think we can fire from further up because we have the R's. But you know what? We're going to be safe. We're going to wait until we get reasonably close. And let's see how he responds to this one. Do want to start to slow down a little bit. Are you going to respond? Yep, there's his response to it. And if we had fired them... No, they all would have gone for his wild weasel. So we are breaking off, and then we'll need to break back in. Defensive plasma torpedoes are starting to engage. Unfortunately, in this spot, there is only one that can actually see them. So now time to start coming around as his speed slowly begins to increase. And we don't want to get too close to him. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to help that. So engage with all plasma torpedoes. Start hitting them with the wave. And now prepare phasers for the follow-up shot. We forgot to deploy our pseudo frigates, which we will set in harassment mode. Unfortunately, we just deployed our pseudo frigates on top of us while there were mines in the area, so they took the hits directly on them. That was pretty stupid of us and smart of him. Let's, there we go. That's what I wanted, so we can set our plasma torpedoes back to normal fire mode. Our forward shields are still fully intact, which would be a big boon to us. Unfortunately, the planet doesn't actually have any defenses that I care about. Stern shields are down, and we have taken a little bit of damage, but nothing too serious. We'll spend the spare part to fix a single phaser X. And I think we want to slow down a little bit. Let him pass in front of us. Our shields are still up, but his are not. And our phasers are dealing a lot more damage than his, mainly because we're hitting him and he's not. Ooh, that was a nice hit onto us. Our forward shield getting a little bit stunned there. But we are managing to spread out the photon torpedo barrages across multiple shields. So he's having a bad day. Unfortunately, I think he might be able to get a shot on our stern, which would be very, very bad, because there's nothing there right now. We did manage to pull our stern away, though. Let's keep repairing systems. And I believe we've lost another shield. So he is chomping us down, sort of demonstrating that we are not quite the biggest stick in the ocean. Does that quite work as a metaphor? I don't know, and I don't much care. We are basically chewing him up there. Almost got him. I don't want to fire plasma torpedoes from this range, and I think he knows that. How many phasers do you have left? 3. So we could probably just keep this down to phasers only. Because I really don't want to risk firing plasma torpedoes and blowing ourselves up. So continue to engage with phasers. As you bet, unfortunately, the forward phasers are all currently not online. It is only the stern ones that have finished recharging, but the forward ones should be available very shortly. And... oh, he's almost dead. He's so close to being dead. There we go. We've got him now. So the slow, trundling dogfight that is capital ship combat. Let's pull our little guys home. Get back here. And set our plasma torpedoes to enveloping mode so that we can basically crush the planet as easily as possible. I told you to return, not to go after the planet. Return. Right now. I did not give you permission to go anywhere except the hangar bay. And we'll also increase the speed of the vessel. We have quite a bit of power to waste. And target the planet. There we go, at full speed. So this is how fast we can go while holding all weapons. 26.7-ish. So not particularly the fastest ship out there, but decent enough. And these are a little bit dented, but they'll be patched up in between missions, so no reason to concern ourselves with that. Prepare to line up the planet and basically crush him. Although we do need to keep in mind, this ship has a lot of momentum, so we'll need to start slowing down relatively soon. Which is now, because I don't want to crash to a planet. And set time to normal speed. And steadily drift on in. The planet might have some sort of ability to dump wild weasels, but I don't think so. And we're going to emergency stop. We don't need this plasma torpedo set to enveloping because we're not going to be turning around to do anything with it. How are you doing with terms of people on the planet? It's down to 5. 1 volley, and the planet is down to 5 people left. Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. Can we get a little bit more firepower down here? There we go. Causing some nice little damages. Oh, they're down to 2. We're done. Beam the people over. Go. Send in the Marines. Wow, we have like 10 transporters. It's either 9 or 10 transporters, so we can conquer planets quite easily. And, you know, other ships to dominate things. We have managed to capture the planet with our massive Marine force, and because we did it with a huge overload, it managed to capture much quicker than we're normally used to. So let's see how much prestige that one's worth, and hopefully we'll actually have taken the planet, because that'll be incredibly useful. 495. The tile, unfortunately, is not taken. I'm just quickly going to grab a save here, because I don't want to lose progress in case, you know, bad things happen. We'll go on a scouting mission, avoid the patrol. We're getting close to the end of an episode, and I'd actually like to finish tonight instead of, you know, having to restart and record this episode again, especially now that I've gotten rid of the save. Battle alert, increases speed. It's a single heavy cruiser. Not all that dangerous. Come in here, set the plasma torpedoes to enveloping mode, and we'll come over here and starting a deep scan. Increases the speed of time. Also, we'll come in here, get the forward shields to some form of reinforcement right on there. We're facing an NCMX, a new medium cruiser with X-type refit. Not exactly the most dangerous thing out there, but it's Federation, so we can't really afford to just, you know, be incredibly arrogant about it. Just mostly arrogant about it. Federation ships, well-balanced, flexible designs, and in the hands of a competent captain can be incredibly dangerous, and we've seen what that can do. It was the USS Sydney that almost annihilated us, and the Sydney was a galactic survey cruiser. And the amount of damage that it managed to deal to a much more powerful Romulan vessel was absolutely astonishing. And because of that, we captured the vessel and met the captain in person. What do you look like? Ooh, it is a Reliant. A Miranda-class vessel right on there. Absolutely gorgeous. Love the design. Huge fan. But unfortunately, I'm anticipating you starting to increase your speed at any moment now. We have all the required data. We may disengage now. Okay, thank you. 1, 2. And he is going very slow, which is a good idea on his part, to keep in the defenses as long as possible. Unfortunately, it's all over for you now. He did survive up until the point where we added in the phasers. And then, well, things stopped happening for him. We have all the required data, and we disengaged by annihilating what was engaging us. Excellent show, everybody. 320 prestige. Wow. I suppose they did place a high premium on us actually grabbing things. A shipyard assault. Kind of don't want to do that mission right now, simply because of the amount of time that it would take. And I think we are actually coming to the end of an episode. If not, we're going to come in less than a minute short, which is good enough for me. So we have finally managed to actually finish this episode. This is being the second time recording it. And we have the RIS Fides, which has proven to be an immensely powerful vessel with a right hook, which is absolutely incredible. I look forward to learning more about this ship and how it is to be operated with the reduced pseudo-frigate complement. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment. Are you happy now that we finally have the king? I know I am, and I will see you all in the next episode.